Let me tell you about a young man who figured something out that most people in the music business spend their entire careers trying to understand. He figured out how the internet actually works. Not just how to use it, but how to control it. How to make millions of people pay attention to exactly what he wants them to pay attention to. Exactly when he wants them. And now, after years of playing that game at the highest level, something seems to have gone wrong. Or did it? Before the fame, before the controversy, before the headlines, he was just a quiet teenager from a small town in Georgia. While other kids his age were out of parties, he was online, running fan accounts, studying what made people share things, what people become obsessed with things. He was not just a browsing the internet for fun. He was studying it like a scientist studies a laboratory. And eventually he became both of the scientist and the experiment. His first big song was not supposed to change everything. He bought a beat online for $30. He recorded a song in his bedroom using free software and uploaded it to a music sharing site. There was no big label behind it, no major marketing campaign, just a kid with good ear and deep understanding of what people online respond to. This song caught on fast. Young people loved it and it made country music feel fresh and exciting to a generation that had never really paid attention to it before. Social media trends started forming around it, and what began is a $30 bedroom recording turned into a full cultural moment. Within months, one of the largest record companies in the world came calling. They saw a 19-year-old who understood how to capture public attention better than their entire marketing department combined. And they signed him immediately. But here is where the story gets more complicated. Goes viral is like a drug. Once you have experienced it, you want to feel it again. And record labels are very good at finding ways to keep that feeling going because it also very good because it is very good for their business. What the label figured out quickly was simple. For this particular artist, controversy sold even better than music. When his debut song was removed from a major music chart on technicality, the backlash was enormous. The story became bigger than the song itself. Established artists came to his defense. Debates broke out everywhere, and every single debate was essentially free advertising. By the time the dust settled, the song had spent more weeks at the top of the charts than almost anything before it. And this young man from Georgia had become household name. But what happens when your success is built on a controversy? Is that you always have to find a way to top yourself. His next chapter involved coming out publicly as a gay man, which is the world of hip hop was generally groundbreaking. Nobody had done it quite like he did, and he leaned into it completely new visuals, new fashion, a completely new brand. Then came the music video that truly divided the country. He performed as a character who sliced down a pool directly into a version of hell. He released a limited run of custom sneakers that were marketed with a deeply provocative religious imagery. Nike filed a lawsuit. Conservative political figures who had never previously mentioned his name certainly had a lot to say about him, which pushed him his name into millions of new conversation overnight. That was not an accident. The product was never really the shoes. The product was the outrage itself. And he and his label sat back and watched the attention translate directly into money. Now, here is the part of this story that is easy to miss underneath all the controversy. Music generally saved this young man's life at some point. He has openly in the past about struggling with serious depression as a teenager and about how finding his voice through music gave him a reason to keep going. You have to want to root for somebody like that. But here is also the honest truth. When someone has dealt with real mental health struggles and also discovered that generating attention gives them sense of power and control, those two things can sometimes work against each other in ways that are hard to see until something breaks. And then came last week, he was found walking down a public street in Los Angeles, dressed in very little, acting in a way that alarmed people around him. When police approached him, things escalated. He was arrested, charged with several serious offenses, including assaulting a police officer. He was also taken to a hospital. Now, everyone covering this story is saying the same thing, that this is breakdown, that this is downfall, that his career is finished. I think they are getting it wrong because if you look at the full pattern of this young man's career, every single major controversy produced results. Every outrage generated attention. Every moment where the public thought he had gone too far turned into more money, more streams, more headlines. He has an album coming out soon, and right now his name is everywhere. The honest, the honest question is not whether this is real or staged. The honest question is whether someone can play this particular game at this level of intensity for this many years without eventually losing track of where their strategy ends and where the real person begins. Most artists who go down this road eventually reach a point where they cannot tell the difference anymore, and that is when things stop being strategy and start being a real problem. Whether you like him or not, whether you agree with his choices or not, there is no question that this young man is one of the most strategically intelligent artists of this generation. But even these smarter strategies have limits. And the music industry has a long history of eating people alive, especially when the one who thinks they are the one doing the eating. Tell which who this turns out to be.